guys, it's Ashley from the Box, and we are live.
Awesome. What's up, guys? Sean Bowen, Full Circle Investment Group and wholesalingoutofthebox.com. Back in here for another lunchtime live. And as the title says, we are dealing with VAs and virtual assistants is what that acronym stands for. So, guys, welcome to the lunchtime live. I love doing these things with you guys. Hopefully there's some good feedback that comes from it. Hopefully we can deep dive into this thing quick enough for you today and give you some really good insight on what we see and what we've dealt with from hiring VAs in the past till currently having VAs work in our process and in our company. So really, really important. Okay. But what is a virtual assistant going to do for you and your company? And one of the most important things to remember doesn't matter what industry it is, right, is if it can be done online and you're doing it online, then you can outsource that. Okay. So into wholesaling, we refer to data mining. We refer to pulling comps, cleaning up lists, maybe doing your marketing, whether that's Facebook ads, whether that's your mail that's going through a mail house. Or maybe that's your Google AdWords. It just depends on if anything is online. Keep in mind that this is what the virtual assistants will help you at the highest level with. Okay. And guys, we speak to this. It can be from brand new, just getting in the industry, or it can be down to you've been in business for 10 years and you have other things that have to be done inside of your company by virtual assistants. So I'm going to talk to what I did when I first started and then kind of like work our way into it really quick how it's working today, right? So one of the big things is understanding what you're going to outsource after you understand it yourself, okay? So let's say you are pulling lists online and then you have to skip trace those lists and then you have to clean up that list and then you have to send it out through your text company or you got to send it out to your mail. You need to understand how to do that yourself, okay? Of course, nowadays, there's a lot of people that do understand this stuff, but every person is going to have their own process, right? Every company is going to have their own process. So you need to develop that on your own in order to be able to train somebody to do it in the future, right? So really focus on understanding what you're going to do and then understand the stuff that you can't do anymore because it's not the best use of your time. So what does that look like? How do you get the virtual assistant to come in, pick up the task that you understand and how to do, and then outsource it to them to get done? And the way we do this is through training videos, right? So have a training video that explains in detail, step by step, how you're going to have that virtual assistant help you complete the task that you need done. And then let that be a learning or training lesson for them that you also go through, right? Every assistant's different. They learn different. But if you have these training videos, it should be the fundamentals so that you can show just the basics. And then if you got to add on, so on and so on, you can. So the next part of this is you've gotten this virtual assistant to do the work and now they get it back to you. And now you have to follow up on that work, right? Was it done correctly? Did they do it in the same time fashion that you wanted it done? And guys, one of the main things you can find these virtual assistants on is Fiverr. That's Fiverr.com, right? There's a really good site where the reason it's called Fiverr is because everything starts at $5 and there's a lot of things that can get done on there, right? Virtual assistants as in cold calling. They can do the data mining, the skip tracing. They can do video editing. We don't have that yet, but they can do that. There's a lot of things on that site that you can outsource and for really decent prices and have a really good result. So that's the site you want to check out and get some people to work with you on that are in the virtual assistant world. Remember, this is an international thing. I mean, you could have somebody right in your backyard that's on there at Fiverr, or you could have somebody that's in a completely different time zone and different country for that matter. And being able to do a task that you just don't know how to do and or can't, right? You just don't have the time anymore. So Fiverr.com is a really good website for that. And now let's talk a little bit about, as you get into being a bigger company where you have team members, which let's say your COO and then your acquisitions manager, your dispositions manager, they have to have these virtual assistants underneath of them. So they've had tasks that they've done and built, and now they have to bring these people on to take care of those tasks that are no longer the highest use of their time, right? So we're all trying to get our time back by paying for time. So what you will learn in the beginning is like, I don't want to data mine. I don't want to sit there and clean up a list. Well, the person at Fiverr might have a program or might have the experience or just can do it quicker than you can, and they can get through it faster. So if it was going to take you 2, 3, 4 hours to data mine this list, and you pay a virtual assistant $4, $5, $6 an hour, let's just say it's $5 an hour times 3 hours. That's $15, right? Is $15 worth your time to get back to do the highest result, which is you talking to sellers, like having the time to do that because you didn't spend 3 hours cleaning a list up? Most definitely. I mean, anybody can find $15, for that matter, $5, right? For 1 hour worth of time. So this is a mind shift as well inside of what your brain thinks like and getting time back. Okay. More importantly is making sure that you define that process in your training video so that you're saving time as well. Okay. You don't want to drag this out. You don't want to have to stay on a in-person video all the time. Get the fundamentals out of the way and then get it over to that person, let them complete it for you. So as a bigger company, you can start bringing on more virtual assistants to come underneath of your main people, right? So if acquisitions needs an assistant to do the list tasking or making sure they're pulling numbers or anything that happens in the acquisition side, they can have a virtual assistant to do that. And then if you have dispositions, dispositions is done with the deal, they've sold the deal, and now it's got to move over to the transaction standpoint. So now you have transaction coordination, right? When you're in the beginning of this, you're doing all of it, right? And when you bring somebody on, they help you do it. And then now that person has created a new process, and then they're going to push it off to that virtual assistant to do. There's all kinds of stuff that this happens throughout the company, right? There's bookkeeping, there's transaction coordinating, there's actually closing the deal, dispositions that are finding new buyers, acquisitions that are talking to new sellers, following up. There's a lot of different things that are going on with these virtual assistants. Okay. So guys, thanks for hanging out with us today. If you're hanging out with us now, let us know where you're coming in from. Tag that link so StreamYard can see where you're from. Let us know where you're watching this at. And if it's helpful, if you are currently using VAs, I love the interaction part of this. If some people come in and go live with us, I'd love to interact with you. We'll try to keep this in about 15 minutes. But yeah, if you are talking about, do you use virtual assistants? Where do you find them? Do you have a training process yourself that you developed that you've seen that works really well? Would love to hear, responses on the replay here or live, and let us know where you're seeing this from. So Chesapeake, Virginia. Awesome. Thanks for being here. Hopefully this is helpful for you. So guys, virtual assistants are very important. Okay. Virtual assistants are a fundamental piece in the business, and it can be any business. Again, it doesn't matter, but we're specifically talking about wholesaling, where this is where you're saving to get your time back so that, again, you can focus on when you're in the beginning, you're a one-man show, right? You do it all, but you have to get some of these things off of your plate in order to be the best person in that position, right? You can't do it all the time. So maybe you're really good at talking to sellers on the phone, or vice versa. You're not good at talking to sellers on the phone, but you need to hire somebody that is. Okay. You're good at the marketing, you're good at getting the leads in, but you're just not a salesperson. And that's okay. Right. There are some positions in this business that are just not meant for certain people. Right. Like I am not nearly organized as my COO is. Ashley that is pretty much running all the stuff for us in the background. She is way more organized than I am, or we are as a company, because she does that, right? But that's what she's good at. If you were to, we would ask her to go sit in sales position. Could she do it? Sure. Would it be her best use of time? No way. So you have to remember your unique ability. What are you good at? And if you're not good at sales, then you need to get that off of your plate and bring somebody on that is, because that same salesperson probably has no interest in marketing, has no interest in dealing with, cleaning list up. They have no interest in dealing with the pieces of mail going out and the returns and all that kind of stuff. They have no interest in it, right? That same thing goes for dispositions. You might not have a salesperson that wants to do anything with closing the deal, right? Well, it's making where you make your money, but they might not want to do that. And then what about the transaction coordination? What about going back and forth? We're dealing with a deal right now where we're dealing with like another unforeseen issue on title, and it's dealing with the sellers. There's a lot of back and forth there, right? A salesperson might not want to be in that position. They might not want to deal with it, right? So again, knowing your unique ability and what you're good at and getting the other pieces off of your plate so that you can get the best use and let your company grow, right? And this is, again, anything you're doing online, then if it's online, it can be trained and it can be done by an outside source that can go in and log in online and do the same thing, right? So Fiverr.com is a really good website for that stuff. That's one that we've been using for a while. I think there's one out there called Upwork, and I think that's what it's still called today. That's Upwork.com. And then Fiverr, Fiverr.com. And guys, you can find a lot of different things there. I mean, a lot of different things. What if you have an Excel sheet that you can't write a formula for? Because I don't know anything. I'm not that great with formulas, and you can try to YouTube it till the sun comes up. But you could pay a guy online at Fiverr, $5-6 and say, I want this to do that. And they'll have it back to you in 10 minutes, right? Like that is the kind of stuff that website can do for you. You want to develop a podcast and have somebody, come up with logos and stuff like that. That stuff's available. There's a lot of different things on that website that can be done that's inside this business. Okay. And very, very helpful. So I think that'll cover us for today, guys. Again, virtual assistants are a massive piece in your puzzle. They're a massive piece to your business and operation to save your time and get your time back so that you can be the most productive in what you're good at. And whatever that position is good at, you have to recognize that first, right? And recognize what you're not good at and be okay with it. Sometimes that's an ego thing for some people, but you can't do everything and you can't do it all good. So you have to find other people to bring onto your team. And know that it's not a cost as much as it is an investment. I think a lot of people, if you shift your brain to thinking that it's a investment to get time back and not a cost, then you'll change the way you look at business, and that'll help a lot. So again, guys, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to either be here live with us or, listen to the replay. As always, if you need anything from us, feel free to reach out. I think we're on the YouTube page and the Instagram page and our Facebook pages. So always enjoy any feedback, whether it's, live or whether it's later on. You guys leave us comments. If you ever need anything from us, you can always reach out at wholesalingoutofthebox.com. Plenty of things on there. The website's rolling right along here on a little ticker on the bottom. And if you need anything, there's plenty of events there you can check out and join us if you're local. We do them virtual as well. Also, if you have things that you need in your business, we can help you there as well. So thanks again for taking the time to join us and hang out. Always, please leave us a comment, and if anything we do to help you, we're here to help you. Talk to you soon. Later.